Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas speaking with Erin Brown Thomas, all about But First, one of the 3 films that she has playing in the Cleveland Film Festival tonight, April 3rd. Go to the Cleveland International Film Festival website and get all the times and showings of everything, and you'll be glad you did. It's so cool. So you and Mike collaborated on this very experimental film. When I hear choreography and dance and that a film is about dance, then automatically I think of a score, a musical score. You went a different route with this one. What was that?
Well, we created the music. And I should say, more specifically, I got to help Mike create the music. So Mike had, in some of his other projects that he, like stage productions he had put on, he had created music from other sounds. And when we were approaching what to do with our project, and I'll get into this in a minute, based on the weird premise and story we were telling, we thought, just getting regular music to score it doesn't make sense. And we didn't want to try to license a song and take that out of our budget. So we had this thought to go to a coffee shop and record sounds of things that you find in a coffee shop. So and there's video at the end of the film where you can see Mike and I in Akron coffee roasters, and we're like, taking, bags of coffee and hitting them, or putting a spoon around the edge of a cup, or running a milk steamer, just all these sorts of objects that happen in a coffee shop, as well as human sounds that happen in a coffee shop, like slurping or like taking a deep breath. Basically, we made music, and Mike mixed it while I edited the film. So we were sitting next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, and while I'm creating this film, he is scoring it simultaneously, which is a crazy thing to do, by the way.
Wow.
He's making it totally out of all these sounds that we made together like 2 days prior.
So at the end, we'll get to see. So as we're watching the film, we'll hear this in the background. We'll hear all these sounds.
Yeah.
But then at the very end, we'll get to see kind of behind the scenes of how you made all those sounds.
Yeah, so we recorded all these sounds individually that got mixed into it. But then we also did this whole little like fun jam while we were there where we just made music on site. And so we recorded some of that and put it in the credits so you can see the 2 of us in action.
So let me go back. What of all these sounds surprised you the most that it could be made musical? Something non-musical that you were able to make musical?
I think it was the milk steamer. I mean, because it's not a very pleasant sound, but if you mix it the right way, it can be really cool.
What was the hardest? At what point did you just say, this is too hard?
You mean with the sounds?
Yes.
Or just in general with the project? Oh.
Well, let's do both, with the sounds and with the project in itself, because there's always the little hurdles you have to jump over.
Well, Akron Coffee Roasters was super nice and just let us come in and record this stuff. But we couldn't ask them to shut the shop down. So I think the hardest thing was just, people would come in and out, and we'd have to grab stuff when the place was silent.
Now, out where you live, that's happening all the time. We're always seeing coffee shops, corners of places. They're always being roped off, and it's suddenly turning into on set. You can't go near there. In Ohio, that kind of starts in a little bit of buzz of excitement. Did you find people were excited? What was the reaction of people as they saw what was going on and realized they were in the middle of a for-real film shoot?
Yeah, so it was really fun. So with the collab workshop, Lindsay and Christy, who produced the film, they were, and also I'll just mention the other producing companies. Red Point Digital produced the collab film that I directed, and there was a second team that Nicole Clayman choreographed and Morgan Wise directed, and Think Media from Cleveland did it. So anyways, there were people ahead of time that figured out locations where we would be able to get permits and where we could film and stuff. And one of the things we did when we got there is we toured all of them to quickly decide where do we want to film. I chose some locations in a park in Akron. Most of my locations were in a park in Akron, and they were all somewhat within walking distance of one another. We did do a really cool bridge that you'll see. If you're familiar with the Towpath Trail, then especially the parts that goes through Akron, you'll recognize just about everywhere in our film. And
cool.
We also shot in the AES building as well as on in some stairs at the library, the public branch library in Akron. But so all these locations, they were public locations. So people, they did stop by. They would they would be on their bikes mostly because again, this was the towpath. they would stop and watch for a little bit, and generally like a PA or someone would let them know what was happening. Sorry, you hearing that beep? Someone's trying to call me. I don't know how to turn it off.
That's okay. You're fine.
I'm a busy person, people.
We know. We appreciate your time with us. That's so fun. Well, let me get a little bit, Ohio is a state that is trying to get more and more and more films made here. And so as a filmmaker, what was your experience in general of filming in Ohio? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it?
Well, I love the way Ohio looks. I grew up in Ohio. I have appreciation for not only the fact that it's greener, but also just there's a lot of artistry to the parks and a lot of the outdoor locations. But I think the other thing is that we really do have a vibrant film community there. So it wasn't coming back and working with, people that were wannabe, crew members. Like the people that we worked with were very, very professional filmmakers who work on films that come to Ohio because of tax incentives and have really great production companies. So I think sometimes people that have lived in the cities for a long time forget that you can go to a small town, especially one that has a great film presence like Akron or Cleveland, and find people who are top-notch to work with. And I had a fantastic crew. I really enjoyed working with Tyler Clark, who was the DP on this. He really, when you see this film, it is sort of a cinematographer's delight. It is so visually driven, and every frame tells a story, and every frame is interesting. There's so many frames in this film that I would put on my wall as art, which is a really nice feeling, looking at something that you were a part of and saying, wow, we created something that is just nice to look at.
Yes.
Makes me feel something.
Yeah. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know that when you are involved with something like this, either through funding or collaboration, there's a lot of shout outs to do, and I want to give you time to do that. Who all do you want to send a shout out to about this one?
Well, I definitely want to just thank the organizations that made this possible for me to be part of it. NCC Akron and Dance Film San Francisco. I'm so thankful that I got to be part of the project. Mike, for just being the most amazing person to work with, to collaborate on, and to make a film with. Definitely, again, I'd say Tyler, because he worked really, really hard, as well as the entire crew. I mean, we had a guy who was supposed to be in camera. He was going to operate a Steadicam sort of rig for us, and which is basically something you use to smooth your camera shots out, and we decided not to use it. And he said, well, I also AD, and an AD is essentially like a stage manager for film. And without him, his name's Matt, and without him, I probably wouldn't have got all my shots. So huge thank you to him. Thanks to Inga. Thanks to all the dancers. Aaron, Sarah, and Tiffany, they were fabulous. I mean, guys, when you see this film and see their dancing, because they had to do this all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, I got tired just watching the first take. and I'm a dancer.
Right.
So it was just so nice. Yeah. So yeah, in general, and of course Red Point Digital and Dave over at Red Point Digital. I want to also just thank my dad and my cousin Margie, because my dad and my cousin Margie PA'd on this film.
Oh,
because it
good
was
job.
A hometown film. Yeah.
That's
because
fun.
It was a hometown film. They got to come out, and it was so fun and special. My mom had PA'd on one of my films before, but my dad had never got to do that before. And my cousin Margie had never got to either, and having her out there was so much fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and she had a really important job, because we were filming on this bridge, this long bridge, this on the towpath. We needed down around, just out of sight, trying to help stop people for so we could do a quick take and then let people through. And without her, we would have never got that shot done. So she really, and it was a really hot day. It was I want to say 98 degrees, which is why I thank the dancers so much. But she was standing out there in the heat doing that for me. So there's just so many people, and I know I'm not mentioning everybody because it was a pretty large crew. We were really, well prepared. We had, Mikey and just all these other, more and more people are going to keep coming to mind. But I'm just so grateful that I got to be a part of this really cool workshop.
And I think when we're watching, when we're watching things like that, I don't think we're realizing those little things like, and it was 98 degrees at the time. You know, we're just watching something and experiencing hopefully what the filmmaker wants us to experience. We forget about all the behind the scenes that all these real people are having to go through to bring us this entertainment. It's kind of amazing. Erin, what's your next project in our last minute here? What are you doing next?
I just found out today that a film I wrote advanced to a quarterfinal for a big prestigious screenplay competition here in LA. And it's the film that I want to make. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's fun.
Thanks. I want to make this film that is very loosely inspired by when I was 14 and in high school. My Latin class went to Italy on a class field trip, and I got left behind in Florence.
That's just unbelievable.
It's a feature film.
They went back and you got home, obviously, but to leave...
I caught up with them in the next city, yeah.
And were they just mortified? Like, my goodness, how did we leave Erin behind?
I think so. I hope so.
My goodness. So nice that you could take that traumatic experience and turn it around, and it's going to be your next feature film. So much fun. I knew this would fly. I'm looking at the clock. Our time is all out.
Can I give one last shout out?
Please do.
A feature I just produced a feature called Shedding for my husband, Jake Thomas.
Yes.
And it is about a bored house cat that longs to be outside. It's a seminal fantasy film about loss, transformation, and it is very, very good. So if you want to look up in Google Shedding, Jake Thomas, you can follow our Seed and Spark in order to get updates on distribution for that, because we're so excited about it.
I am too, and I will say amen to that and can't think of a better way to end on. So anyway, thank you so much. I don't often end interviews this way, but love to you all. And thank you so much for spending time with us. Folks who want more information, go to the Cleveland International Film Festival's website. They've got an app. They've got Facebook. They will tell you everything. You can see these films and many others. It's a great experience. And Erin, thanks for your time today, and thanks for what you bring to our community. We did it!
Woo!
Yay!
I realized I'm like, oh my gosh, I should plug Shedding.
I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you did. Because that's on our minds. What is the newest with that? It's all finished. Are you guys sending? Tell me what's up with it. Mm-hmm.
For some reason, Cleveland didn't want it.
Well, that's all right. That's fine. That's okay.
We really love it, though. And, yeah, so we're waiting to hear back from other festivals. We're going to start.
Good.
We kind of stopped submitting to festivals until we got color done.
Yeah.
So we'll have the color sent to us within a week. And at that point, we will start submitting to more festivals again. But what we really want to try to do is hit a really great fall festival premiere. Yeah,
great.
I mean.
Fun. Okay. That sounds
the
good.
right person sees it and thinks it's the most amazing thing ever, because we sure feel that way.
Oh, I know. It really is. I'm just thinking that because it's full length, because it's a feature length, then most film festivals are shorts. So it's going to be that.
It's not that as much as every film festival, they have to think about how they're going to market a block of films or a film. I hate to say that, but I think there's a lot of films that have celebrities
or that
have a certain look of polish that are easier to market to people that know nothing about the film than a film that feels small, that's by someone you never heard of, that stars someone you never heard of.
It's gonna just be
people are gonna want to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it's beautiful, and you guys both did just an amazing job on it. So, all righty. Well, I will let you go. You guys have fun. Bye, Jake. Bye, Tom.
Bye.
All right.
Okay, bye.
We'll see you later. Okay. Bye.